Okay, hello everyone. I was about to make a joke, but I don't think I can try to say that, or I can try to say that, but I don't think I can get away with it without offending a lot of people. It's loading in. So, yep, modpack. It's on a server, so you can see it because I'm still falling down when I'm making a waypoint now. And my frames are chugging, okay? I could have sworn I had everything to be as slow as possible, or as fast as possible. I'm not even running the server myself. That's kind of sad. Oh, it's because it's still loading in, so it's lagging me behind, so I don't run out of chunks to walk on. That makes sense. I'm just dumb then. Not that big of a surprise, but yeah, it's finally uploading. Nothing much to say about that aside from, you want proof that's old? Of my last video, the one where I talked about the problem with tokusatsu adaptations. Okay. I forgot I was in game mode 1. I solely did that because I just wanted to be in game mode 1 just to double check that everything worked. Like, the game mode 1, so because it's gonna go AFK, test the OBS and everything, but I didn't die during this. I also gave myself cheats, as you can see, because I still need to do this. Keep inventory true. Oh wait, no, I have the corpse mod, so that can be false. Mob griefing, for my own sake, that's gonna 100% be false. And do fire tick, which is fire spread, false, just for my sanity too. Yeah, I'm a bit caught off guard about that. But the last video I did, where I talked about the one with Toko adaptations, you want proof that that's old? Since that has aired, I am in my second month of school, and I have finished binging all of Saber, including the movie. Literally just haven't watched Superhero Senki, haven't seen the stage show, and of course I can watch Trio of Deep Sin, and I have watched all 5 currently out episodes of Revice, and literally I'm just waiting for the episode 6 to air, which is actually pretty soon because of the time zones. I'm currently recording this at 10:24 p.m. Okay, this is a mod pack I originally had with my friends, but we only played for like one session and nobody was interested in playing it again. But I thought, and originally this was going to be an actual series I want to see with my friends, but I realized I'm not sure if they're going to be comfortable with me inviting them to a mod pack like this. So of course, in order to try and make sure that everybody was interested, which is a problem I usually had with mod packs in the past, I asked them for recommendations, meaning I am actually not aware of a lot of these mods. There's only like a few that I'm genuinely aware of how they work. Okay, mod list. Okay, no, that's 100% nice. Well, okay, 77 pages worth, so I have a mod options. Okay, so going from A to Z, and my game is currently lagging. Okay, we have one of the ones I'm aware of, Academy Craft, one of the ones I suggested myself. Still no Magic Maker. I'm actually, ironically, thinking of adding that mod on my own, but I'm too bad at modding so far. Maybe if I had to get somebody else that helps out with modding, I'm literally just learning to code. Akashic Tome, I think I mispronounced that really badly, is a mod I recommended just because I realized how many books we spawn off with. It lets you have a book which you can put a lot of the books in yourself. Armin's Workshop, recommended by all my friends, but I'm more of how it works. Some of these I know because they're like the mandatory ones for the mod to work. Baubles, which was one I honestly didn't ask, but one of them, I believe somebody else asked for it. Bonfires, one of the ones I asked for. Chisel and bits, somebody else. Clay Soldiers, somebody else. Construct Summary, somebody else. Corpse Mod, I think either I or somebody else recommended it, and I know for a fact considering I didn't want to keep inventory because that's too plain. And the problem I often found with mods and keep inventory itself, if you really want something on your person, like keep inventory, but you still want to lose stuff, there's no in between. Like you can't have like I always said, curse of binding. Like, for example, where you can't move or get rid of the item at all, you still lose upon death. Like, I always thought to myself, Curse of Binding, if it could just like keep certain items as like a plus and everything else still drops, would have been cool. But there's literally no mods like that. Cosmetic armor reworked, one of the ones I actually added myself, and that was after I had already played the first session, and just never got a chance to tell my friends that because we haven't played since. Some of like the other ones, damage indicators is not in the mod pack, but as a client-side mod I have myself. Damage tilt, fixing one of the oldest bugs in Minecraft where your camera doesn't tilt anymore. It was a problem with the fact that the server doesn't communicate that to the player anymore, based on how Minecraft worlds work. Extra utilities, friend, don't explain that. Another friend of mine, I think I might have had that recommended by a friend, but I already had that in mind as like a mod that people were already gonna ask for. On backpacks, somebody else. Backpacks. Chests, somebody else, because they're like, why have one without the other? Journey maps, everybody was agreement with. Just enough items, everyone's agreement with. Bleach, one of my own recommendations, which I nerfed the heck out of. And fun fact, you can't nerf the stats and making them anything under 100 without crashing your game, so you have to decrease how much it multiplies your stats. One of my own recommendations, I'm Sakai. Mechanism, one of my friends. Open blocks, one of my friends. Quick hotbar, one of my own, because it's like honestly one of my personal favorite mods. Breoth is a client-side mod I just haven't installed just to be safe. RPG HUD, same with that one. Friend Storage was a friend's recommendation. Tiktopia, a friend's recommendation, because I honestly didn't think anybody would be interested in it, but I probably would have thought of it too. Not taking credit away from my friends for saying that. Thaumcraft, and Tinker's Construct. And Vanilla Fix, one of my own, which I recommended everybody download just to be safe. And I skipped to Kamen Rider and Super Sentai. Of these, Thaumcraft, Refined Storage, Open Blocks, Mechanism, Ice and Fire, Extra Utilities, and Constructs Armory, Tinker's Constructs, Clay Soldiers, and the Chisel mods. I have no idea how they work. And Armor's Workshop. With Tinkers and Armors, I've used them, but I have no idea how they work without cheats. Like, I literally can never get Tinkers to work for me. Anyways, my current goal is to get book or 4 books for a bookshelf. I don't want to talk about it. That and sugarcane for one of the bleach items. Actually, what's the game mode at? Easy, okay. So it's just not gonna fight. Bleach. Oh, can't get my house guy. Okay. I'm gonna try to get started with Mahasakai and okay. Actually, what? Okay, give me a sec. Testing, 1, 2, 3, and I am back. Yeah, just had some interruptions. There was a body of water I was just trying to kill myself. Okay. Here. Perfect. Easiest way to death. Clearly, probably my horrible English is also a good way to death. And boom. Got Mahasakai out of the way, and yeah, getting out of that is usually One-way ticket to death. Okay, wait. Difficulty? Easy. I swear I should be taking more damage than that. If I go normal. Okay, I think it might have been one of the other mods that did that, because I could have sworn most mods don't do that. But okay. I'm going down the human path thing, and oh yeah, for the sake of making this easy for a bit, peaceful will be the game mode I choose for a bit. Just while I get started on just want until I get the book sorted. And that or a backpack, and by the time I get the bleach item. Oh wait, I just realized my buddy's in there. Oh wait, no, I forgot this mod uses graves, not corpses. Despite what the name implies. And don't mind those are just the Fae. They never disappear. Hindsight, probably should have added the what are we looking at mod. Ooh, first time grapple. That's always good. Yeah, I have no idea about this. So, I did send out an invite, if you guys didn't see it. If any of my friends are watching this, feel free to join, like, if you guys ever want to. Especially because I'm pretty sure some of you guys will probably have better knowledge of this than I do. So my end goal for this is, well, I have several end goals for this mod pack. If my friends join me, they can help me with some of the end goals. But one of them, I always had an idea for mod pack back before I got back into Kamen Rider and Sentai, or at least before I found out about the mods, or rediscovered the mods for Sentai at least, was thanks to Academy Craft I kind of came up with this idea. The only problem is I probably have to basically backlog this entire server because I decided to do it on a modding server hoster called Artenos, which for your own safety doesn't let you put your own folders into the mod packs. So I was thinking of so because of that I probably have to backload this into a server I'm running out of my own computer, which is a lot harder to do because I have a laptop from I don't even know how old this laptop is. I mean, I could probably Google it, but oh yeah, Tinkers and Helheim. Helheim's one of my first objectives. But because of Academy Craft, I was thinking of adding in a lot of other mods, or modding in a lot of the other Itoraru abilities, like Mental Out or Dark Matter, probably be one of the harder ones. Part of me wants to say the number 7s, but I don't even know how the number 7s works. Deep Blood would be a neat one if I had the JoJo's mod or something. Or any mod that adds in vampire. Actually, does this mod pack actually have vampires? Vamp. I have no idea how to spell vampires. Or vampire even. At least they get Kiva. That's close to a vampire, right? I'm joking and everything, but still. I was thinking maybe gemstone abilities, but of course one of the main ones I wanted to add in was, well, you can look at my character and you can tell basically theoretically I'd want Imagine Breaker in. But because of that, this was mostly back when I was first getting into Index that a lot of these ideas came to my mind, was thanks to Techtopia, my end goal is to, even if it's not one-to-one, create a Minecraft Academy city. A beacon of the future of technology, which is depending on who you ask, 20 to 30 years ahead of 2004's technology. Granted, it's shown to be more ahead of 2021 technology too, so yet it still uses flip phones. That's the problem with stories like that, where they don't pass 3 years as quickly as our world does. Oh, neat. First rider, I guess, is Ryugen. Or, I guess, I'm becoming Ichigo then. Kurumi, I could become Knuckle if I want. Dorian, who's that one? Bravo. Okay, all of this can go away now. I have no need for you, you, or you. I have orange, and that's all I need. Just gonna hit me how hard some of these riders are gonna be. So I have a few goals. Sorry, I think you just heard me hit my mic with my hand quickly. Like I said, Academy City is one of them. Another one is to, there's the mention about the northern base from Saber. And like I said, I just finished watching Saber, so I've been in the mood to like do more Saber-based stuff. So one idea that came to mind was, sorry, just thinking of the right words to use. Set up my own sort of logos type thing. Heck, it's with Academy, and heck with. This is the reason I chose to be on Peaceful. I was murdered thousands of times by a dragon in the past. Okay. Sorry, I zoned out for a sec. One of the main reasons I wanted to do this was the words just seem to be failing me right now. I wanted to make a sort of logos, and heck, with Techtopia having guards in it, this sort of logos could work to teach the guards, and possibly connected to a library or something, have my own fantastic book Kameyama inside of the city. Also, despite all of that, I have one more goal. Sorry, misclicked on my computer. I hate the Windows button right now. I'm trying to put Z. Oh. Okay then. Okay. Yeah. So Zio. There's a Z. Then Z. Okay. And the Zio gear, which doesn't work for some reason. So I was thinking. Okay. My end goal is the Omazuki driver. Which you need Decade Complete, which you need all these guys. You need this. It's a pain in the butt. And then, with the Decade Complete, you can put it with a Ginga Mirai Watch, which sometimes Ginga spawns in and is invincible, and at that point you basically have to cheat in, because every Ginga you spawn in will be broken. Gates Revive, where you have to be every single, like I'm not even joking when I say this, when I say this, every single future rider, in theory, but you can just spawn in Waz. Not Gates 35 get Tsukiyomi through the ride watches, get a ZQ driver from Zio, get a Decade ride watch on its own, all the Phase 2, all the Phase 1 riders, base form engineers, like what's used to make their base form, and then combine those said make Grand Zio, then have another pair to combine with the items that make the final forms up to make that, along with Zio. And my goal is to be able to have all of that, plus be able to access all the other Zio forms, and not have that form is just permanently lost. So yeah, that's a pain in the butt. I have no use for the sweep. And blacksmith. We have my own texture pack. Although, if you've played Otakucraft, these textures for the swords are probably going to be familiar to you. Now I think about it, I think I've added a few textures with this texture pack. One of the ones that sticks out to me is under... about to commit a crime, so be right back. I'm sorry you had to witness that. And now I have videos for this. Boom. Oh no, I have no need for this. Also, my current goal is just to make this weapon and boom. Don't mind me, just being dumb. Don't think I had any other goals really. And Techtopia's book is useless. So this episode, my goal is basically just to get base of operations up, which is actually not as hard as it sounds. Kind of. I need to feel as prepared as I possibly can be. How long have I been going for? 24 minutes. Okay, less than I thought. Oh yeah, like I said, I finished Saber, so guess I'm probably gonna start wanting to talk about Saber now. Okay then. So Saber, just finished it at like 5 a.m. yesterday, or today, considering it's not even past 12 yet. And honest opinions about it, so far. Oh wait, so far I've finished the entire thing aside from the extra materials now. My thought is, I heard a lot of negativity towards Saber. Like, the only Toku tuber which I heard talking good about Saber was Thomas Jujubi. Literally only one singular person. Aside from that, it was basically all negativity. Aside from some people saying watching it week to week, watching Saber week to week is not the smartest decision. It's better to binge it all from like Reddit when the final episode aired and everything. But that's like the only positivity I've ever heard towards it. And honestly, not even joking when I say I don't see why people are complaining at all. I have found zero problems with Saber, like, ever. In my entire time watching. Although there was many times I feel like they could have very easily have done it badly. Like, so of course this is going to be a lot of spoilers for Saber. Kento's whole Caliber arc, where he was like Caliber, and refused to join his friends, which I always found to... A lot of people made it sound as if it was a lot different than what it actually was. So that alone gave me a really bad impression of it. Just to find out there's honestly really logical reasons for it. They're broken downstairs, okay. That very easily could have been done really badly, if you ask me. His whole time is caliber. Am I even muted? No, okay. That felt like could have very easily been undone, and honestly, I never had negativity towards Saber, considering, like I said, his Kento's Caliber arc very much felt like could have been dragged on a lot longer, and at that point it felt really dumb. But literally, I felt really emotionally attached to basically every writer in that show. Even some of the characters that seem to get almost constant hate, like May, I had no problems with. The only problems and major spoilers for the ending of Saber, it took her like 3 episodes to write a single tweet or social media message, which had everybody talking about their stories, like the ones they always liked, which was actual fan submissions from everybody all over the world apparently. And I saw a lot of comments about Momotaro. Irony of Saber having its second half air during the 50-year anniversary rider, which has Momotaro's. That aside, that's like the only nitpick I had about Mei as a character at all, and this isn't working. Okay. And like, not even joking, I felt so emotionally attached to a lot of the characters from Saber. Not even joking when I say Tassel's death literally had me in tears. Yeah, Tassel's death made me cry. Only for me to immediately be cheered up by Detest, or Dizest, with his comment about eating the pickle rye thing. I don't remember off the top of my head right now the words. Like, that got me laugh. Gets killed like 2 episodes later. He dies. So yeah, that was very much had me in tears. Saber all around had me in so much tears. And then special issue. And I will say this right now. A lot of times you witness it, like the prime example for me is the Den crew, like the Den Liner crew. Very much post their series, you get flanderized versions of them. Iki and Vice were and George. They didn't get flanderized after the show, they got flanderized before the show even aired. I felt it was a perfect ending to Saber in that, and honestly, I felt like Ravi and Vice weren't enough in it when you think account it's a special literally saying their debut. They weren't enough in it. But because of that, they didn't take time away from any of the Saber crew. One kind of complaint, I guess, is Rintoro and Mai, which especially in the special issue chapter, you see Rintoro's trying to confess to her, and it just always backfires horribly. But it's a very immediate thing to tell, is why didn't that happen during the 1 year Tomo was gone? That's one of the thoughts that kept being in the back of my mind the entire time. But overall, Saber was great. For like my first proper writer show, I'm really sad it had to end. I still felt like, based on what the final episodes did to them, you could have easily had a very much, even if it's not like a proper action writer show, a very like chilled, down to earth like drama, I guess, almost slice of life show about these guys. They gave them more character arcs to probably be revisiting crossovers or something. Like Ogami trying to become a teacher now, or Daishinji trying to make a new Seiken. And honestly, it had a lot of sight gags, which I like overall for Saber, so it's a great show. One of my personal favorites is when Yuri came back, he was just reading Ex Swordsman. Not sure why I found that as funny as it did, but it's funny. Not to mention, I feel this would probably be a rant in it of itself, but I very much feel like people complaining over Wonder Almighty is a very dumb art, is very weird, and Cross Saber, not like function wise, but appearance wise, because I don't see anybody complaining about Cross Saber's functionality, aside from Sebada, who got mad at him using Durandal's ability, but aside from that, no complaints from anybody. So yeah, aside from that, nothing much to say. Trying to think. Like I said, I can probably save the problems with Cross Saber, like people complaining about Cross Saber and Wonder Almighty, like a kind of rant video, like I did for my most recent video about the Toka adaptations. Because I kind of find it to be some weird double standard where everybody complains about Saber and 01 doing it, but not complaining at all about somebody, like, for another series doing it. And yeah, nothing against these shows. I'm planning on watching O's, and I feel like I'm gonna like it, but can never be too sure. But gonna throw some massive shade at O's if I were to do that video. And to Build too. Granted, I don't know much about Build yet, aside from just the physical appearance of them, so. Also, I'm gonna go throw some kind of shade at 01 while defending Saber. But overall, with all the writer shows I've seen so far, I probably rate it, excluding the ones I've completed, it basically be number 1 Saber and number 2 Amazons. Because I'm currently at episode 3 of Ichigo, like I just finished going to episode 4 thanks to Tokushoutsu. And the fact that I very much like to pace myself with Ichigo. Apparently I can only handle an episode a year almost. But that aside, and Revice, which I'll give my thoughts on Amazon's Revice and Ichigo now, I guess. Ichigo as of episode 3. So this is what show feels like, is basically how you sum up my thoughts. It's slow paced and just doesn't catch my interest as much as I thought it would. Like, now there's problem too, like I saw episode 1 of Go Ninja and completely stopped. I felt like they were too boring. There wasn't enough character development in the writers themselves. And I guess that kind of comes from the fact that a lot of new writer shows hinge their character development on new forms. Like a prime example from I can tell is apparently Kuga. But Saber had that too, a lot of its character development, like Dragonic Knight and stuff like that. Saber's Journey not as much. Fantastic Line had a lot of development to it. But aside from that, I wouldn't say that any writer, but that kind of still falls apart, I guess, when you take into account the development that Haruka from Amazon's got in 26 episodes, which wasn't even dedicated solely to him, which Ichigo has, luckily. So yeah, it feels like they're trying. Ichigo's character is a lot more of a flat character. The problem is there's not enough constantly appearing characters to make up for how flat he is as a character. Oh yeah, about writers for this mod pack, it's gonna be a lot harder to find the ores because of so many other mods, ores being taking more priority for spawn rate. Aside from that, there's nothing much else to say about Ichigo. With the Amazons and Saber on there, I'd probably put Ichigo as number 3. guess number 4 with Amazon's being number 3, and when I add Revise. Only on episode 5, like I said, waiting for episode 6 to air, basically. Yeah, I really like Revise. Not as much as I do Saber. Granted, Saber is the benefit of I've seen the entire thing fully. But with the problem that it's an anniversary season, is being forced to shove a new form in your face every episode, basically. But I really like what they did. The only downside is Fies kinda got messed. Like, Fies is really awkward with the Petra genome, because the most common power up for Fies isn't even Blaster, it's always Axo that you see in crossovers, because it's always paired up against Clock Up. For completely false reasons, Clock Up is like thousands times better, even when you don't take into account the amount of time they each last, which is a lot longer for Clock Up than it is Axo. But aside from that, they decided to make Revi's power have the extra speed as a reference to Fi's Axo. The only time a rider's power gets a nod to, and with their genome. Deno, you don't get that reference. You get pose references. Double, you can make arguments towards Extreme, like Gold Extreme, with the flight, but that's more of a coincidence, if anything. Ooh, Helheim. I think I'm spelling Helheim wrong, but no, that's it. I don't pay attention to that. So for Deno and the Mammoth was just like double physical appearance, and Megalodon same from what I can see. You don't get because Kuga doesn't have anything stand out about him, to like any of his powers, which another writer isn't already have and probably better at. Like a comparison I guess I can make for Kuga is Kuga's the Mario of Kamen Riders, and by that I mean going by Mario 2 or Mario USA. Toad was the quickest, Peach had the ability to float, and Luigi was the best jump-wise. But they all had their own weaknesses. Luigi was basically walking on butter, which was made even worse when he was on ice. Peach was the physically weakest. She couldn't lift anything no matter how hard she tried, basically. And Toad also got the heaviest lift, but he didn't have a high jump, and his landing was he landed probably quicker than Mega Man did in Mega Man 1. And I only to tell you, like, I recommend watching Some Call Me Johnny when they talk about how quickly Mega Man drops in some of those early games, especially Mega Man 1. But that's about it from that. How did I even get... Oh, yeah. But Mario was the all-around, not the best at picking stuff up, not the fastest, not the best jump, but the easiest to control, and okay jump, couldn't float, but had a pretty good strength when it came to picking up plants, and and was overall pretty quick. So basically I'd say that's what Kuga is, considering Kuga isn't known for speed. That obviously goes to Kabuto, the Lord of Speed. He isn't known for being able to jump particularly high. That goes to probably Ichigo or 01. Or O's. He doesn't have anything like flight to his name. He doesn't have super fast water travel from what I can tell. He doesn't even have the physically best defense. That's probably the other ones that comes to mind there will probably be Blade due to his king form. So I'd overall say, but of course Kuga's probably the most well-known raw strength, I guess, which would be kind of hard to show without making him completely broken with the line genome. And of course those feats get easily outclassed when you take into account just Oma or just Decade alone. That, not to mention, Kuga doesn't have the best resistance when you take into account, like I just said, King Blade, or I guess Hyper Muteki X-Aid, when you take out he's literally the invincibility star, supersonic, hypersonic, like any invincibility thing you ever get in games combined into one. with Hypermateki, but yeah, he doesn't get anything like that. Like, think about it, you can easily list a lot of writers for what they're most well known for, but not for Kura, not really. So nothing can stand about him. Megalodon, aside from the physically looking like Decade, unlike where Zio gets the powers of the writers, the genomes are just based off the writers. So they don't get the powers aside from, you can make arguments towards Fize, who gets flight and super speed, making him unique in that regard, considering Megalodon just gives him the slashing type abilities, and theoretically better underwater travel. So yeah, it's kind of odd if Fize got that. That's something I always felt like I need to point out from the moment I finished the Fize episode. Not to mention, Vice often takes a back seat a lot, and aside from like episode 1 and 2. Episode 3 was the Mammoth Genome, so he took a kind of front seat, but as much of a back seat as Iki took in that episode, where the episode focused on Iki and I'm drawing a blank on this brother's name, trying to become better friends, and it focused more on the sister, if anything else. So it wasn't so Vice obviously had to take a back seat. Episode 4, Vice took a back seat, considering he had nothing to do aside from talk about love and stuff like that. And aside from the jokes, Vice took a back seat in episode 5 too. It's only episode 2 where he gets the development of becoming a good person, stop trying to constantly eat Iki's family. And episode 1, of course, introducing every character. And I have to say, really feels like it can be easily predictable who evil is, but there's always the sense of doubt that you can get from Kamen Rider Evil himself. Considering, I'm gonna go into who I think evil could be quickly. So, the guy you see failed to activate the Revice driver before Igarashi. Yeah, Igarashi, that's the brother's name. Before Igarashi failed to henshin into Revice, considering the fear, the guy that even caused that fear in the first place, that caused the Rex dead man to appear, got demoted. He seemed to go to shoot his opponents. He took the Kong and Lion V stamp and gave them to separate people. So he's most likely to become right evil, but not impossible to not be it. And one thing I hope the show does before its ending is turn maybe not the parents, like especially not the mom, she's been in the hospital this entire time, although that would be a neat twist. Let the siblings become secondary and tertiary writers. Like, I feel like Igarashi is like perfect for secondary writer. He has a perfect character arc, and of course the sister that hasn't had as much character development, so she could probably be like a tertiary writer, unless they really spin it on us. Because of course Revy and Vice are like just like Ichigo and Nigo and the 3 and Rider Man, they're both the primary writers. And of course, like, the dad and the mom could be like probably similar to, I almost say, Agito becoming G3, or like other characters become G3 or Deno at separate points in time. Because of how what those powers work, theoretically, we need to see maybe like one off both of them transforming into Revice or something, or like one of them Revy and one of them Vice. Granted, I think that probably wouldn't happen. Let alone the parents becoming writers seems unlikely. The siblings, though, like Iki, Igarashi, and I'm drawing a blank on that sister's name too, seem like prime candidates to become writers. And say I currently go, one would be Saber, 2 Revice. Don't question my horrible spelling. And number 3, Amazons. I'm bad at pressing the right keys apparently. And 4, Ichigo. that'd probably be my ranking for Kamen Rides as of now. On that note, I feel like the most secure way of getting armor and everything so far, the most secure path to go to rider-wise would probably be not X8 or them. One mod I really want to have in, but I don't think I should without like setting some major ground rules for first is Project E. And if Project E gets added in, which I'm tempted to not do because even my friends brought up how broken it could be, yeah, probably I'd only let you have access to 2 items: the repair talisman and like the EMC pouch. Considering I don't know if there's any backpacks. Okay, if you were to add that in, oh, I forgot to install iron backpacks into the mod pack. Iron backpacks, they're good, but a singular rider could probably fill up everything in that bag. And not even joking, builds full bottles alone, along with his driver and the armor for build himself, all of them alone in one bag, easily take more than one bag. And that's even when you limit down the amount of full bottles you get. Gaim can also be the same thing if you want to include the other riders and some of the other lock seats. Drive, because he's one of the characters I always want to get every item from, gets basically an entire diamond backpack almost full. There's no crystal backpacks from Iron Backpacks mod, so nothing much you can do. That's why the EMC pouch is probably one of my personal favorite things, because they can hold iron backpacks. And iron backpacks can hold them too. So it's sort of the irony of that. Yeah, weather off. So I'll probably only set those 2 because they're like some of the easiest things. Aside from that, difficulty easy. I'm getting a dry mouth, so I'm probably gonna have to like end the recording soon. Time to hunt some shimi. Yes, so I'm probably not gonna be talking much considering, like I just said, I have a dry mouth, so I'm gonna turn on the weather volume just to make up for my lack of speaking. Or no, I'm probably gonna just kind of get rid of the water. So yeah, I'm gonna use cheats like that, basically like toggle downfall if I'm just like I think I broke the weather volume entirely. Like stuff like that I'm probably gonna use cheats on, or say example journey maps teleporting, I probably end up cheating. Considering, depending on how you want to look at it, this probably counts as cheating. Like, the only other cheat I can think of is if you end up basically getting constantly killed. Cheats to help you, like, say spawned, like, died by a dragon, and now your stuff is getting kept guarded by a dragon, and you can't get your stuff back now. Like, part of me also wants to add dynamic sword skills for better. Well, better. I'm dying. Okay, wait. Also for the difficulty. Peaceful, just because I gotta take on food. I had 3 apples on me. Okay, probably one of the first riders I'm gonna get is Saber and then O's, just for the Taja Spinner. Because that basically means immediately cooked food. Immediate cooked food. Nah. Oh yeah, for this mod I was kind of holding off until Revice update. This mod has been updated in a while. And you might be thinking I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. Like, the last update into this mod alone, what the changelog itself kind of shows how old the update is. It said that I added a tab in the creative tab for Revice. It showed Revice's head to represent it, and on its own, that phrase doesn't mean much. But he said Revice's head, and well, gets at the very end of the mod. That's Revi's head. It's an OBS thing. It's in my way. Yeah, item.revice.head. Just to show kind of how old that update is. At the time, that was before Superhero Senki, he added in this Superhero Senki book. Doesn't have potion effects yet. Wonder Almighty isn't even in the mod. Yeah, Wonder Almighty, Saber's extra form, isn't into the mod yet. And last update from the creator, it was on the YouTube community tab, where he showed an image of Revi and the new, like the old Ichigo suit as its own separate suit. Which made its comeback in over 50 years, aside from like a few exceptions, from its first time since its last appearance back in 1971 for Ichigo. Yeah, also, Kamen Ristorius is just something you can cheat in and doesn't have any potion effects yet. Just to add more proof to how old it is. So yeah, this mod hasn't been updated in a while. So my current goal is to kill Shimi, which are Saber's mobs, because Helheim does have hostile mobs, but there are no hostile mobs from Kamen Saber in the northern base dimension. It's currently my goal is to get to the northern base. And after that, my next goal is probably going to be, those are 2 Dopons, I can probably handle 1, but not 2 of them. My next goal after that is probably going to be, actually, it is going to be to, just probably to work out from there, get Bonfire started, and there's guys there too, and Bonfire started so I can have easy access to every dimension once I get there with the Bonfire. Which is going to be most useful probably for between Fantastic Book Kamiyama and there. And that's a Shinigami. No. You see, the problem is you almost never encounter the guys you want to encounter. No. peaceful. Just because that dragon's about to obliterate me if I didn't have it on peaceful. You see, one thing I probably want to change to the configs is Fire and Ice loves to have dragons spawn everywhere. They have the dragon that spawns way too common. Not to mention, this is something I'm gonna forever hate Fire and Ice about, as I had to learn sadly through the configs. For whether or not stuff can spawn in a certain dimension, Fire and Ice uses a blacklist to check, not a whitelist. And by that, I mean a blacklist means certain people, like example, in a blacklist, certain dimensions. In a blacklist, you'd have to write what to. No, it uses a blacklist, not a whitelist. In a blacklist, you have to. That's the problem with Kamen ones. They move way too quickly. I'm convinced sometimes their AI is based off of baby zombies. I don't like how you save the world there. Like, look how quickly that Dopon's catching up to me. Now there's 2 Dopons. Oh, and there's a guy from RPM. Oh, and there's a Goliath from Fire and Ice. Yeah, like I was saying, it uses a black list, not a white list. A white list, you'd have to write down which ones you specifically want. You have to specifically write the dimensions you want these guys to spawn in. And in a black list, you have to write what dimensions you don't want them to spawn in. But spider. Do you remember the said spider? Yeah, why you have to spawn a dope bomb? This feels unnecessarily cruel. I'm doing this just because like I said, I'm not prepared. Nighttime scary. Oh, Ankh. I don't have any snow, so I can't make any ice pops. Ankh. Stop, I need to get. Ankh's like the only good way to get your stuff aside from the birth system. Anything that spawns with the birth or in the nether is probably going to be a pain in the butt to get in the overworld. And Ankh moves at like light speed, which is very fair. I wish there was a way to get at Ankh. Like, actual Ankh, not just his hand, but like the entire mob. That would have been very interesting. Also, one other thing about this mod, which is actually kind of smart to an extent, the Amazon writers and the Fies writers, you have to be Amazon and Orphanox respectively in order to become them. But in this mod, they don't allow for those DNA restrictions. But because of that, is you can't become a Greed through the Putatiera medals, and you can't become a Joker through Blade. Don't mind me, I'm just chasing on. Oh. I got Ankh's Taka medal. Yeah, Ankh's Taka medal is probably gonna actually play a part. Oh, it's like an Ankh. Yeah, his Taka medal is probably gonna play a part into my defensive Wonder Almighty and Cross Saber. Specifically the Wonder Almighty part. like I kind of said before, I'm still kind of on my search for Shimi, so because they have book gates, which allow you to teleport there. Sands of Time is a good place too, but sometimes it's risky because Yuratoros is the only place with a safe spawn, and Yuratoros isn't the most commonly spawning. Like, none of them are. Not to mention there's constant Imagine spawning there. Helheim has no safe spots, and invests are all over the place. Not to mention, same problem if you have tech guns installed, same problem happens, where the mobs just refuse to not spawn in every dimension known to man. That's a Buckster. Yeah, you also can't get the Buckster virus because of Zungamoonba. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Peaceful. Look at the damage these guys can do. One of my friends recommended Fire and Ice, and honestly, because of that, I think that's gonna be like the worst request for mods I've ever had. They cause damage, and there's no way to prevent your items from getting burnt. And the thing is, I want to build Fantastic Book Kamiyama. And in order to do that, in theory, you'd need, not big surprise, Fantastic Book Kamiyama is a place that's best made when you build it with wood. If I had a way to disable Fire and Ice's burning of blocks, I'd definitely do it. But I'm pretty sure they actually have you write down to the ID for every single block you don't want burned down. Now I need to re-enter easy mode. Just gonna teleport back to spawn. Yeah, I haven't got the one of the mine yet then. Also, why did I suddenly get the downfall toggled again? Toggle downfall again, okay. Yeah, I like to point out, I'm in iron armor, almost full iron, and look what it's doing. Like, seriously, I'm not kidding when I say this modpack is very cruel to Minecraft. Honestly, probably one of the first things I want to prioritize would probably be Academy Craft then. I'm not joking when I say Academy Craft's the easiest way to deal with the damage problems. And that's only basically if you get vector manipulation. If you don't get vector manipulation, then you're out of luck. Because Meltdown gives you a mediocre shield at best. Like, Meltdown is one of the ones I like the most because I first got it and I've used it the most, aside from vector manipulation. And I've been joking when I say even that's not enough. Honestly, probably if my friends join me on this modpack, I'm probably going to end up giving some of the rider powers to them. Like, they could pick the riders instead. I'd rather traverse through Helheim right now. And the thing is, once the dragon spawns in, it lags. Considering it recognizes the dragon has to have its AI established again. Making running away from him downright impossible if you're too close by the time he loads in. I wish I was joking, I really do. Sorry about that. That was just the headphones because they were hurting my ears. Oh, Helheim can apparently still mix with some things from the mod, from Fire and Ice. Yeah, that's why I hate Fire and Ice. It just doesn't care. Like, at all. It does not care if you... But mods, other mods aside from itself. It's probably the most selfish Minecraft mod I've ever had. Yep. The only thing that comes to mind as a selfish Minecraft mod before this was probably more player models, but that had at least a valid reason. More player models needed because it overwrites player models entirely, breaks Dragon Block C or any other mod that has custom things. Even Tech Guns breaks it, and I'm pretty sure also Galacticraft also breaks it. Yeah, just to establish how broke. That's so understandable. Also, no more player models can be added considering it breaks if you use Breaking Mammoth or any other giant form like J. Also, if my friends are ever interested in joining, one idea I had to make Mousekai partially easier was you can kind of privatize your own spell. So let me pull up Mousekai, and you see all these spells. You can ask to whitelist one of them, like you can ask so that only you, yeah, that, you see what just happened here while I was in the Helheim biome? Yeah, that's what happens in the dimension too, but 1,000 times worse. Since the times, place exists outside of all time itself. Apparently dragons also exist outside of space and time. Helheim, a place that had no known population, that forced Chakotay forced all investment into the planet. Apparently that's not true, because apparently dragons already live there, along with fairies and pixies and stuff like that. I genuinely have no idea what that is. Part of me wants to say, oh yeah, it's a dragon. That means peaceful. Not even joking when I say there's only like one consistent way to take them down. There's only one good way to take down a dragon in this from Fire and Ice when you're basically broken. When you're basically weak. And that's to have the Ruby mod. And Ruby Semblance at level 3. Meaning you need to be lucky enough to have had enough to be first spawned in with Ruby Semblance. A. B. Have your friends there. Have your friends there help you take down Nekalavi or something like that. Or Nekalavi is the only smart way to constantly get it. That or like the gorilla one, its name's not coming to my mind. Or Goliath, I guess, too, to an extent. But those are the only ones I can think of at all that could possibly be seen as that. I'm far enough away, so. Yeah. And that enough to get 2 Ruby Semblance coins in order to put you level 3. And that combined with the Bleach mod allows you to block. And if you have the dynamic sword skills, where you just need the level 1 basic target, Z target, which actually isn't that hard to get. It's probably the easiest of that entire thing I just told you to get, because you spawn with it. And Shimi, finally. And I just got blank 1 book. The only way you can get Bookgate is if you get a Shimi to spawn it. Drop it, I mean. No other character in the Kamen modpack spawns a book gate. You can't even get through the book analyzer. Okay. But yeah. Bit of a side tangent. But I was lost on side tangent actually. Yeah, I'm pretty just complaining about. Probably complaining about Fire and Ice actually, wasn't I? Yeah, I don't really like the mod. My friends like it though. Like from what I can tell, Fire and Ice is, along with Ore Spawn, really the two #1 mods that if you're getting it into your mod pack, you're making your mod pack about it. Oh, the consistent way to take down a dragon. That's what I was talking about before. The only consistent way I know of to take down a dragon in the mod pack is, I think that's 0-1. Yeah, that's 0-1. You have to keep in mind. Oh, I have some suffers and kaiju there too. The only consistent method I know of for 0-1, I am not even, for taking out a dragon. I just told you need to get a level 3 semblance for Ruby, which is a pain in the butt because there's so many semblances. You need to level that up by killing mobs that drop the semblance coins, which allow you to level up. God forbid you accidentally switch out what semblance you have. Then even after all of that, there's still more. You need to have, unless you go to your configs to make it so, what's the word I was looking for? So that I'm drawing a blank with the word. So that your aura doesn't get used when you use your symbol. When you use your semblance, you don't use your aura too. That's what you have to change manually for a lot of different ones. Why are you attacking me? What have I done to you? I've literally never had a problem with that mob before. You need to hit it in order to aggravate it. What did I do? I don't have any mod that makes mobs randomly hostile towards you. I don't have an epic siege or anything. I have no idea what aggroed it. Okay, but aside from that, if you don't have the changes in the configs to your aura, you need to purposely find a scroll, unless you want to go into your configs and make yourself spawn with a scroll. You find a scroll, which means you have to get the end, which means you have to kill a bunch of mobs. Go into find a village, which is sometimes a pain in the butt to do. Get traders. Hope that none of the traders have been pushed out through mobs and stuff like that. Trade with them enough to get a scroll, which isn't the easiest thing to do. Then, so you have enough semblance, or at least you think, in order to take down a dragon, walk onto the dragon, and spam your semblance key. It has good results sometimes. And I'm gonna say it now, it's easier to take down Queen Lancer, which has more health with that method than it does any other mob. The only mob that's harder than it, than the Fire and Ice Dragons to take down with that method, is the adult Nevermore and the adult Scavenger. You're not even joking. If it wasn't for my friends getting that, I think I honestly would have just decided to not include this mod. If it wasn't for I would never include this Fire and Ice if my friends hadn't asked for it. I think I already thought of adding it because I knew my friends were gonna ask for it actually, so that's kind of on me. And I fell into this. I'm thinking 0-1's the best to go through because of the old jump problems, but aside from that, the last one's still alive. No. Move away from the and the dragon's turned to feed me. It's caught me. Like, I'm convinced Fire and Ice was a mod that if you had it in your game, it was meant for the sole purpose of having it be this primary mod. It isn't supposed to be a mod that, like, Ore Spawn also is that, but Ore Spawn doesn't do that by ruining your chances with any other mod. It does it by making it one of the most difficult ones, to the point where if you have it in your, that you have it with you, it makes every mod feel powerless in comparison to it, unless you change it, like hack it to make it Dragon Block, config Dragon Block C, to the point where you can basically one-hit even the Queen, the hardest boss in the game, with the Ore Spawn. So aside from that, you have to purpose, like they do that not by ruining every other mod experience, but it does it by ruining your experience if you have anything from that Ore Spawn. And like Fire and Ice, which makes it its primary goal to be the only mod, by literally ruining your time, ruining your fun with if you have it as a side mod. Then once you get some annoying mobs, which you can easily take down early on, which help you basically slowly level through the ranks, kind of like those Mafia City ads, where like a mantis could be kicking your butt for like a couple of minutes, you finally kill on like half a heart, and you go from like level 1 quick to level 10 boss in like 1 minute, or level 10 hitman. And the Mantis Claw helps you take down more powerful mobs, like wasps. The irony. And the dragon spawned in. I said my goal for the first video was going to be to find it. To kill Shimin, get a book 8, kill Shimin, get a book 8, kill Shimin, get a book 8. Yeah, I think the only proper way to deal with that for me building the Fantastic Book Kamiyama and building the Academy City, build it underground is what I'm honestly thinking is potentially the only way. That or potentially through Masukai building up a ton of barriers, but there's no good barriers for this. I guess, well, from what I can tell, Academy City has like an entire wall in the original light novels, because I've read a few fanfictions about it. It's not something I'm proud to admit, but I'm bored sometimes. So yeah, and a lot of them bring up like almost a wall and heavy security. So yeah, I'm thinking that's like the smartest thing to do. Set up a huge, enormous wall, so you can have your own proper ecosystem inside of there. Oh, this is where I was earlier. Like a ginormous ecosystem, so you don't have to struggle, but to like go out of your way to get trees or something. Your car rangers. But you look at that. I'm really gonna need sabers just for the Jack no Dokami, I believe. Jack and the Beanstalk. The extra power Buster gets. Did I just witness like I despawn? My search for Shimi continues. Honestly, at this point, I think it might be smarter just to end the video and make a separate video. But at the same time, I feel like that'd be cheap because I won't make this whole one video. That's a witch. That's a dragon then. Nope, 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 nope. No, you know how to play is. This is the power of Shimi. If there was a way to like disable spawning for everything but one mob or something, I guess like there's like dumb mobs or something which you could change values of certain mobs, but it is like a huge config folder. You'd have a hard time finding it. I've had it only for one mod pack in my entire life. I've had it for only one mod pack in my entire life, and that was just to make it more like a zombie horror game. I want to see how it fared against the one they used at the time, and I don't think I ever want to go through the experience of the context for that mod ever again. Now, would you look at that? The dragon sends me through a tree. I cannot wait until I become Oma. Because then I'm just gonna one-hit every one of those with the Poseidon's dagger. There's no joke there, I'm just genuinely hate fire and ice. But the thing is, I've already spawned so many chunks of the world, which 80% of it is fire and ice mods, I'm pretty sure. Actually, the Magical Forest, I'm pretty sure it's Stomachcraft, so I can delete it and not experience any downsides here. But yeah, fun fact about this, even more annoying. It does all of this, but unlike Overspawn, which adds its own dimensions, it doesn't add anything of its own aside from that. It doesn't add any new dimensions, but it creeps into other dimensions stuff, so it doesn't spawn in any new biomes either. I mean, I could be wrong, but I've never seen a new biome from Fire and Ice in my entire life. I could get rid of this without caring the world. Yeah, would you look at that? I have enough for a backpack. But I have no chest. So I need to build a chest and then boom. Oh yeah, I forgot I haven't installed the mod. I forgot to install it into Artenos for some reason. This is the second mod pack that's happened to me before. You guys remember You Have to Have a Name? I forgot to do that, and I didn't realize it until like a few days, like a few weeks after I recorded my last video for that server. And then I just lost interest in that server. But more details on that, I'm pretty sure, is probably going to be in the rebranding episode. I don't even remember what I called that episode or video, not episode. Why do I use episode so often? Yeah, I brought up spoiler warnings for like every show I saw. So yeah, spoilers for Revice, not just Saber. Spoilers for Revice, O's, Saber, Ichigo. Yeah, let me go through. Oh yeah, I should probably talk about the Ghost special and Spectre special. So spoilers for those, Ghost and Saber, I guess. Again, okay. They were fun shows, fun little specials. I genuinely laughed at Spectre's reaction at the end of his special, where he sees all the cannons at the end. I love the fact that that's the thing they said to go out on the specials on. Apparently a continuity of that is just after Saber unlocks his final form at episode 38. So Kento joins in the very next episode, 39. And you know why I'm bringing that up? It's a shame they couldn't write a Kamen Rider Spada, a Kamen Rider Necrom crossover. That would have been awesome. I mean, we already got some for Saber and Spectre. Yeah, so kind of odd point or works here. There's a lot. Like, you can kind of see how all Legend writers work into the Saber 3 book system. God Beast for right, middle, animal, and left is story. Perfect example. Saber, featuring and Crimson's Dragon, Brave Dragon, the God Beast. God Beast is any fictional beast like a phoenix or dragon. Oh, okay. Prepared to see a lot of fire now. Animals like any living animal, like a lion or an eagle. And then story is for stories like the aforementioned Jack and the Beanstalk, Hansel and Gretel for Slash, down to Elgina, so Aladdin, and Seiyu Journey, Peter Fantasy Star for Journey to the West, and Peter Pan. My mouth is getting really dry, I'm sorry. Yeah, back to my little nitpick about Saber and Ghost crossovers. You can kind of see how all the legendary writers work into them, to the 3 book style of Saber. Gotta be, of course, like for example of Animal, Kuga and Blade in Kabuto, the most notable features being the fact they're based off animals. All get put into the animal category. God Beast for Ryuki and Agito, based off dragons. Wizard's Dragon, mostly dragons now I think about it. I'm trying to think of any non-dragon. None that I can think of, huh? That's kind of odd, and stories for like the writers that you can only think of their story, I guess. Not for the fact that they're animals they're based off, or the fact they're based off certain mythical creatures that have connections to them. So, Decade, who's ironically enough, Decade has no story, is the storybook book. I'm not gonna question how that works, how a person without a story gets a storybook about them, but Zio, The Path to a King, most notably based off a story, there's no mythical creature like Zio, and there's no real animals like Geo at all either. Yes, I'm gonna be switching between them just to be annoying. They're over there, they're over there, they're over there. Trying to think what are the words I'm looking for. Oh yeah, and you can kind of see that apply for Ghosts. Ghosts based off a ghost, so he's God Beast. But then there's the leaps in logic, like there's the absolute leaps in logic that Spectres, who just like Ghost is based off Ghost, but is Spectre too, is an animal, and I guess you can make arguments towards towards them fitting under other worlds and stuff than the ones you see them, like Ghost being story. Even Ichigo is based off is a storybook. So like you can make arguments towards those. I'm about to be murdered. I'm about to be murdered. Actually, I may have a good counter to that. I call this the Iron Golem trick because it's based off how you fight an Iron Golem. And Shocker's here. Great. Everybody loves Nazis. I'm just kidding. It's Shocker, so just as I'm not even gonna say that. The anagrams for Nazis. I'll just leave it at that. Another Shocker. What the heck? I just want to fight these guys normally. Please. No, don't mind if I do. I don't think I got book 8. Why? Okay. Can we talk about this? I don't think we can talk about this. I already ran out of storage. I already ran out of pocket room. I'm gonna mess. I don't think I'm gonna become real soul green. Don't think I'm gonna use Mega Ninja at all. I need to eat, so there goes that. I was bringing up something before I got absolutely murdered. What was I thinking? Nope. I was saying something. Oh yeah, you can make arguments towards everything but Spectre's being an animal. And yet Blades, considering it was a god beast for Saber, even though Saber's a god beast for Ghost in his special, so it overrided the Brave Dragon Winter book. He had to replace it with the Ghost book. They decided to have the same thing for Blades, but and apparently they either couldn't get Necron back, or they couldn't get, or something happened that they didn't want to do Necron and Espada. It's kind of sad. I would have loved to see that as a combination, honestly. But, no, he's crying over something like that, really. But I will say myself, overall the specials themselves are really good. I'm not even joking, I barely have the base idea of Ghost. I haven't even watched Ghost. So yeah, I have almost no idea what Ghost is about, aside from the obvious jokes about his narration and some of the pension sounds. I have no idea anything about anything Ghost. But I am really clueless about it. Did I just get my jump canceled out? What the bronze ore from Mechanism? I'm not sure about that, so I'll keep that in mind, and I have no use for you. Yeah, I'm convinced Fire and Ice is like the main reason behind a lot of these leg spikes, so I actually gonna try to figure out some of the stuff about Ice and Fire. Or flat out move it because it's really problematic. Yeah. Yeah, now I want to get onto one thing I forgot to do entirely. Spoiler warnings for Kamen Ichigo, spoiler warnings for Blade to an extent. I don't think I had anything Dano based. Spoiler warning for O's. Oh wow, I got killed by Masquerade the Ball. Drive, I might accidentally spoil. I don't know much about Drive itself, but like I seen through YouTube itself. I haven't watched the show itself. Gaim, kind of Ghost, no. XA, kind of. Zio, as depends on how you want to look at it. Spoilers. Obviously Saber, no 01. I guess 01 to an extent. Not the context behind it, and Amazon's. Oh, and Revise. I mean, I unlock this, but how long have I been recording for? An hour 42 minutes. This is gonna be a 2-hour long video. And Fire and Ice just spawned something to end at. I just hit me. Am I even easy? Yeah, I was seeing Masquerade the ones earlier. Why does it look like something spawns here, but like when I get here, nothing's there? Yay! I don't even care anymore. Just because they are this annoying. And they don't even give you good armor for it. For everything they put you through, if you have this in your mod pack, they don't even give you good armor. They expect you to have this as a primary mod, if for everything except armor and weapons. If you want that, you basically have to recommend Ors. If you want something that's good for weapons and gives you good bosses too, the only thing at that point is Ors spawn. If you're in 1.12, you got nothing. Oh, I also didn't watch any of the crossovers from Saber with Super Senki, like the episodes themselves. I didn't feel a need to. Or for Zenkaiger in the lead up to Super Senki. Actually, for my own sanity, I might actually keep that in my inventory. No need for you, no need for you. Just for later. I'm not even gonna become Go Busters. Actually, I might need that last one. Oh, sorry. Another day. Yeah, I've officially been going for almost 2 hours. That's true, at this point I should just add Swordcraft Online, or more swords online, just for the Ordinal scale to deal with the mobs at this point. Problem is, Ordinals for some reason after the renaming of the mod, just removed the mod entirely. Oh, that must mean there's 2 dragons nearby, right? I'm just looking for Shimi. Are Shimi really that hard to come by? I will be. There's no pausing on OBS, is there? Well, you guys are in for the long one. This is a 2-hour long recording. Unless I find a way to edit. But recently, the only editing software I have is Shortcut, and Shortcut for some reason and YouTube don't get along, even if you pick the YouTube option for Shortcut. Even if you have the exact right file formats, YouTube just won't recognize it because YouTube apparently only likes to change the most unnecessary of things. Like on mobile, they got rid of the playlist tab for like a solid 2 months and placed it with, and also the video tab with a watch tab, which had both. It is the dumbest thing ever. You get highlight of certain and only certain playlists, and then an all playlist option. If you had separate playlist tabs before, they're all gone now and inaccessible. Like only the separate playlists themselves. Not to mention, they also got rid of the sort by option for YouTube videos. I assume it was beta, considering like just today I saw they got rid of it. Which means it was such a big backlash that it caused. Not to mention, I've seen people complaining about the new studio. Honestly, I'm indifferent to the new studio. And for a fact is, I asked you for a reason. Even why would you want to go back to the old studio? But since fair for you had everything in the new studio at the time, but you're saying that back before the new studio even had everything. It was still just the beta. And actually, I have this. Boom, problem solved. I'm pretty sure the new Revice episode's airing now. Finding out Evil's identity. And getting a Megalodon form. Seriously, are Shimi this hard to come by? Another Faust lab. That's interesting, I guess. Not much to it. The problem is with Shimi, there's no specific biome for rider mobs to spawn in. So the biggest problem with Shimi is you have to wait for it to become night and hope to God you're not in a place that spawns in a ton of fire and ice mobs. Which is easy if you're staying on spot, but if you're constantly moving around, it becomes downright impossible. You know what? I was like... Spawn. There. Spawn. Pretty sure I'm in difficulty easy. Yeah, one thing one probably client-side mod I might want to have is actually apple skin. And basically tells you how much saturation you have and how much hunger you're gonna get from eating a food. Okay, let me just double check. Oh yeah, no, I never changed it. Hollow. Of course, hollow. Nope. Nope. More hollow. Just about it. Oh, she got me in the hollow in a fight. Let's see if I can get a mass shard at least. It's their Ryoku at least. And I anchored a Shinigami. Hey, Q Ranger, the one that isn't even fully implemented the mod. become Dutch Man, then we're gonna become you. You're not even fully in the mod. You're not fully in the mod. Are you kidding me? Boom. I think there's a single thing in this mod pack which I don't need. Actually, there's one thing in this mod pack I don't need. The Mesa Cloud Terminal. Because I have a general idea how everything works. But just for keepsake, I want to keep it, so... It's not like hitting some metals, I can just... No, but if I want O's quickly, I need some metals. Welcome to my life. Oh. I was thinking, considering there's no easy way to get rid of... There's no easy way to, like, have every book. Because of the lack of Project E, I was thinking, like, for my own sanity, I'd use this, but if I'm gonna add Project E and just get backpacks again, as long as I just ban those items, like, blacklist them or something, and anybody found with them, it's, like, in trouble. I guess I'll add you guys in here. Yeah, this is the entire purpose of these. You can fit in anything with the daily book, even Wonder Book rides. I always want to say Wonder Bride books. I'm not sure why. Oh no, I'm getting that weird feeling. I'm getting that weird feeling like you pop your ears, I guess. Right word for it. They're only up 50. That's surprisingly low. I mean, look at the difference. 4, 3. Why are you taking so much more damage? Less damage. Oh, go Ninja. I could actually use you. Actually, Go Ninja might actually be the most useful to craft early on because it allows you to like shift flight through shift. I also want to like toggle the downfall. That just bounced off me. I'm not even using vector manipulation. I've barely moved around, and yet no Shimi have spawned. Genuinely, everything's an overloaded Kamen Rider. It becomes the least important mod. And Shimi is already like the least priority mob to spawn in naturally. Making Shimi the most downright rare natural mob in the game. Not ones that are built to be rare. I'm kind of worried about hitting you at... For the longest time, Bat Hollows back during the beta were bugged. Like, you can hit them no problem. But as soon as they hit you, your game crashed. Thankfully, at that point, I already knew about vanilla fix, so I just easily had to relog, but... I basically had to find a way to, like, remove the mob, or, like, I had to delete the entire world, I think, or something. I don't know, because it's been a while, because I had to have my hard drive removed, as I said earlier. Or earlier, a few videos ago. Yeah, you can see this entire thing, this entire mod pack, one episode has already put such a strain on my head. I literally can't care anymore. You're an interesting one. Never said any Kamen ninja. Never say you. Okay. Onikaku Ranger. Ow! That one hurt. That actually isn't a beatable thing. Thank you. That one's gonna be a pain in the butt. Take down otherwise. How did these guys come to such a stable agreement? Ow. Ow. There's someone behind me, isn't there? Bleh. That was a bit of lag. Was there a dragon nearby? He just launched me across a lake. Yeah, golems. They're like a hollow, which I really like because they help you at the sword release. But at the same time, they're a pain in the butt. They drop their mask type I got some because that point can just pretty much already enough to become a full bringer. I just need the mask. A fun fact about the masks: they're impossible. Not even joking. I say sometimes I generally feel really depressed in small pack. No shimmy. Genuinely, no shimmy. But I don't need a potato. Why the heck has that been in my inventory? Oh, probably from that. Still no shimmy.